Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports. I'm your host, Jake Gardner, alongside my brother, Zach.
What's up, everybody?
Delayed hello from Zach there, and welcome back to basketball. We had a late episode last week, basically because I had COVID, along with a lot of NBA players, and I didn't really have much of a voice, so we had a Thursday posting going over kind of last week and guys to grab, but we're still having a regularly scheduled Sunday episode this week. So we'll still go over some similar players to grab, but add a few extra, and then also recap the week where this past Thursday was a special episode, just going over COVID only and guys to grab. So without further ado, surprises of the week. Hamadou Diallo. I believe I'm saying that right. He's going crazy right now for Detroit.
I love the Hamadou.
God. 59.3 average in custom points leagues in the last 7. And I don't know if this has staying power. I mean, obviously not that high of an average has staying power. But does he have staying power going forward? We'll talk about that more later. Pascal Siakam, increased usage with several key players out for Toronto. And so he had a 58.8 average in the last 7 days, and that actually helped me win this week. So big surprise there because he hadn't really reached that height yet this year, coming off of injury.
Yeah, he's really been turning it around.
Yeah, Scary Terry is back! Exclamation point. 50.6 average in the last 7. A lot of players coming back from COVID don't hit the ground running like this, but he's just going Scary Terry mode. So
yeah, that's insane.
Really nice to see if you're an owner and you held him through that, because now he's gonna keep increasing his average. He's kind of right where he left off, honestly.
Yeah.
Nicola Vukovich finally coming to form where he has some consistency now, and it's not just a really good game and then a very mediocre game.
He's looking great.
Yeah, dude, he's looking like an all-star again, and right around all-star voting. So go get your votes in.
I mean, he's not going to make it, right?
I don't think so. I think he started too slow, and there's other big men are more deserving at this point. But there's still a chance with this hot streak, and
he's doing great for the Bulls, though.
I think DeRozan and Levine are a lock. It's going to be hard to get Vooch in.
Yeah.
But regardless,
you think Lonzo can make it, or
no? Okay. Unfortunately, it's just point guard's a really stacked position, and he's like the number 4 option on the team, so he's a really good player. He's like borderline, but just not this year.
Gotcha.
But he is like doing great defensively as a point guard. Like point guards, I saw the stat that no point guard has ever averaged 1.5 steals and 1 block like he is right now. Like a whole season. I'd have to relook up that stat. I was reading it. It was like a week ago, but anyway, crazy numbers defensively for him, so that could help, but I doubt it.
Gotcha.
Just want to hit Demar Derozan as well. We knew he was already good in fantasy, but coming right back from COVID, he hit the ground running as well, just like Scary Terry, and then you have to go over him because 2 game winners in a row. One on New Year's Eve, one on New Year's Day.
Yeah, and you know what? That's honestly, dude, I was very shocked by this, but it's true. That's the first time in NBA history that a player has hit game winners on back-to-back nights.
I mean, yeah, you got to think about it. That's super hard anyway. It involves a bit of luck.
I know, but there's been so many great players over the years. You would have thought that would have happened.
Nah, they're just not as good as DeMar, that's all. So, it is what it is. I think this is boosting him. I don't know if he can win MVP. He'd have to have a crazy second half. I think he's 5th right now in voting, but still, that's probably the highest he's ever been.
I mean, you and me were talking about it last year that we wanted the Bulls to somehow get oh my God, what's the guy on the Clippers that tore his ACL?
Kawhi?
Yeah, we were talking about the Bulls. Maybe they could get Kawhi somehow. They went out and they got Kawhi Jr.
Yeah, I mean, DeMar, rightfully so, has always been under like Jimmy Butler, and Kawhi and Paul George is like the two-way small forwards. He was always kind of ranked like the 4th. But this year's could be his best year of his career. I mean, I'd have to look it up for sure compared to some of his Toronto years. Yeah, man. So I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, but there's a chance with a big second half.
Tell me there's a chance.
Yeah. Saddiq Bey, again, he's another surprise of the week. He was 2 weeks ago as well, but he's basically the man in Detroit right now. We just talked about Diallo kind of being next to him, but still, he's going off. He's had 3 big weeks, 43.1 average in the last 7. Yeah, just amazing stuff, man. So let's go into storylines.
Yeah.
And I just have a lot of questions that I want to talk about. Are the Bulls a contender for real? I still struggle, even though they're the number 1 seed, I struggle to see them getting past the Bucks and the Nets, and even the Heat at full strength is like, I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, the Nets are about to get Kyrie back as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they definitely are a contender for sure. I think that I think that if they have everybody healthy and they're full go, and I think if they make a trade for a power forward, I definitely think that they're a contender, man. I definitely think I could see them the way they've been playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know?
God, I hope. I'm already nervous for it because I know we're going to the postseason 100%.
Right.
It's just these top teams. Have we even played the Bucks yet? Because I know we swept the Nets so far.
I think they played them once and lost.
Okay, and we split with the Heat.
Yeah, I think they played
I gotta
game.
put the next Bucks game on my calendar to get a better idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're gonna probably get destroyed by Giannis because they don't have anybody that can guard him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. What if we traded for no, that'd be stupid. Never mind.
I still think they should try and trade for Sabonis if Indiana's really gonna be getting rid of a bunch of people.
Yeah, but he's too similar to Vukovich. But he doesn't have the third best plus minus in the league.
Right.
So he's actually better than Vukovich, with that statistic at least. I mean, I'm sure they would be good. It's just it's not like we still wouldn't be able to defend the Giannis then.
True.
With Sabonis, it would just be maybe a even better offense, but our offense is already good.
Right. They wouldn't need the offense. They need to trade for somebody, like a defensive tall guy.
I don't know who that would be either, because I mean, defense, just like 3-point shooting in the league. I think at this point, defense is what would you call it? The word.
That's why it sucks that Patrick Williams is hurt, man. He would have been the perfect 4 for them.
Maybe it's just like something. 3-pointers in defense are something hard to come by in the league nowadays, so people are less likely to just give up those kind of players because a lot of teams aren't that great at defense or don't even have one good defensive player.
Right.
So I don't know who we could get at this point. We'll see, man. If otherwise, you try to get Giannis in foul trouble. That's the only strategy.
Right.
You have Vukovich go hard at him, man.
Yeah.
But they're gonna let Giannis play because he's a fucking MVP. So it'd be a tough matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Are the Celtics a playoff team? Currently the 10 seed. They're struggling to. I mean, they've been heating up lately. I think they just got 2 wins in a row over the weekend here. But before that, they've been kind of on and off, like win, lose, win, lose. Can they sneak into the 8 seed? I mean,
I definitely think they can. The bottom of the East isn't that great, and I think if they start getting in their rhythm or whatever, I think they could sneak into the 8 seed for sure.
So the Raptors are ahead of them, and the Wizards are the 8 seed.
Yeah,
Hornets are the 7. I don't see the top 7 falling out of the playoff picture. The top 7 are the Bulls, Bucks, Heat, Cavaliers, 76ers, Hornets.
Yeah. I think they can squeak into that 8th seed though for sure. I still think they are better than those 2 teams ahead of them.
Okay. Well, the East is just a lot better than people think now because the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks are both out of the playoffs as well as the Celtics right now. And they're both stacked teams, so it's like, can those teams, they're all going to be fighting for the 8th seed, so it's going to be crazy.
I
end of
think
year.
the Celtics could do it though. I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck in.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, same question for the Hawks. They're the 12th seed. Um, they went to the conference finals last year,
I know,
and
it's insane.
they were within 2 games of going to the championship. Are they gonna not make the playoffs this year?
I don't know. That would be crazy. I mean, for them to make the playoffs, I think it's more likely that they fall out than make it. The way they've been playing, they just don't look like the same team.
Yeah, I think the
Um,
rule change affected them the most. It's Trae
they're gonna
Young.
need they're gonna need Trae Young to go like God mode for them to make it in at this point.
Yeah, just a lot of his points last year were free throws, and that helped him edge out a lot of games. And now that he can't just fake a, hack, or what's it called?
Heck,
Just it's
yeah,
not
the
hack
jumping
check.
in. No, but
Yeah, faking the injury like him and James Harden did it a lot. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know, man. Yeah, I could see him missing, but they are missing some key players right now. They just won one game, but they were on a losing streak.
hmm
um, the Grizzlies, dude, everybody thought they were going to fall off when Ja Morant went out, but they basically had a couple of pretty good win streak while he was out. Now that he's back, they're also playing really cohesive basketball. I think they could keep the 4 seed. What do you think?
yeah. I definitely think they can. They're just looking solid. Everybody's kind of clicking now. They're just in a groove. I think they definitely can hold that down.
Yeah, dude, because the Nuggets just aren't stacked like they were because they have so many injuries. The Clippers just
hmm
lost Paul George for a month. They're going to fall off. And these are the teams under them, by the way. Lakers, obviously, everyone knows they've been struggling. Dallas has been struggling. I just don't know. With the Grizzlies being young, healthy, and like playing really good team ball right now, I don't see them falling off.
Yeah,
And actually, looking at the record of West compared to East, I can kind of comfortably say that the East is the better conference this year.
I
And if you look
definitely
at
think
the
so too.
rosters
I was
lined
surprised
up,
at how weak like the bottom half of the last 4 or 5 of the Western
yeah,
Conference
dude,
playoff teams are. Like how bad
we
records they
may
have.
we may be experiencing like the switch of the conferences for the
Think we
first time
could
in
be.
like 10 years. Shit.
Bulls are a super team.
Yeah. Can the Mavericks hold seed in the West?
I
They
definitely
just
think
got
they can.
Doncic was out. Doncic was out like 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and they still have the 8th seed. They just won tonight.
he was on a bender eating hamburgers, drinking beer.
The only big threat to them would be the Timberwolves. Are you still there, dude? You're kind of breaking up.
Well, you don't hear me?
Now I do. Okay. The Timberwolves are on a losing streak, but that's because their stars were all on the COVID protocols. So, and they were starting to win right before that. So they could compete for the 8th seed, but I don't know. Lucky for the Mavs, it's a weaker conference now because otherwise they would not be in.
Yeah.
And are the Trailblazers going to have a fire sale? They're currently the 13th seed, 4-game losing streak. Damian Lillard is sitting tomorrow because of that abdomen issue, so that's going to be all year still. I don't know, man. I think they're done. Zach?
Yeah, let's just give me a second here.
Okay.
Yeah, the mic says my revelator. I don't know why you can't hear me. My internet's good.
Okay, I don't know if like you were laughing and it came in and out, but go ahead, dude. Respond to me. Edit this out.
Okay. Yeah, obviously. What was your question?
I was saying, are the Trailblazers going to have a fire sale?
Uh yeah, they're definitely that's waiting to happen. It's going to be definitely happening.
Yeah, maybe we can steal. I don't know if anyone on their team fits us, but if we need a defender, we could try to get Robert Covington. Could be a
Yeah.
good wing defender for the playoffs. Maybe you could get him cheap, but I don't know if that fits the power forward we need.
Right.
I don't know who could get for that. That's like one of the weaker positions in the league, so it's like really hard to fill that in with a good defender.
Get Bobby Portis.
Nah, they're not trading him. They're going for the chin. All right, man. I'm gonna run through the injury news.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go through guys who entered the COVID list and guys who are still on it that are pretty fantasy relevant, and then just in the comments, if we missed anybody, you guys can comment that. But I'm gonna run through them and then go through other types of injuries. So, health and safety protocols: Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns. Towns is almost back though. Julius Randle just entered on Friday. Mitchell Robinson just entered. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just entered. DeJounte Murray is almost back. DeAndre Ayton just entered. JaVale McGee just entered. Jonas Valanciunas is questionable for Monday. John Collins is still on it. I'm sure he's almost back, though. He's been on it almost a week. Malcolm Brogdon just entered. Darius Garland just entered. D'Angelo Russell should be back soon as well, because he went on around the same time as Cat. Karis LeVert just entered protocols. Nurkic is doubtful for Monday, but I think he cleared. Kyrie Irving is still in protocols. Rashawn Holmes just entered, I think, today. Spencer Dinwiddie just entered. Isaiah Stewart's still on it. He should be back soon. PJ Washington was cleared, but he did not play today. And then I put Bogdan Bogdanovic and Dylan Brooks. And then decent amount of guys have come back. Yeah. But otherwise, we can link like everybody on every team. But Damian Lillard, he's out tomorrow on Monday for the abdomen concern. So them announcing that early just is kind of concerning that, like we said, he could miss a game a week going forward. We don't really know.
Right.
Kemba Walker was a late scratch from Friday's game with a sore knee. So he like injured it in warm-ups is what it sounded like. And he also missed today's game on Sunday. So obviously that's worrisome with his injury history. Another concerning one, Brandon Ingram, sore Achilles, questionable for Monday. He missed the past 2 games with the sore Achilles, and it just really reminds me of Kevin Durant. He plays just like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's was originally a sore Achilles, then he tried to play on it, then he tore it. So I'm not saying that's it, because he's questionable for Monday, but I'm a little worried. I'm a little skeptical of what they're saying about it, you know? Chris Middleton, personal, is questionable for Monday, so not many details on that. McCollum, originally, it was said that he was kind of coming back to practice and he might be back soon, and now it says out indefinitely. So he must have had a setback, or I don't really know, but if everybody remembers, he had that punctured lung about a month ago. So, yeah. Don't really know what's going to happen here, man, but out indefinitely. Robert Williams, toe, unavailable Sunday. That was just like a late scratch. And then Ricky Rubio, here's the biggest news, because he was kind of having a renaissance year. In points leagues, it was around a 30 average, and he earned a starting guard position because Colin Sexton was out on Cleveland, but tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. So now to really fall to...
That sucks.
Garland's going to start carrying on. He's going to be like one of the only guards left. So, buy low trade targets, man. Let's break into it, because I have a lot here, and I have a lot of sell highs as well with all this craziness of COVID going on. There's a lot of people getting inflated stats.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys on the COVID list that maybe you could trade for because they were also doing bad before the COVID list. So we'll just jump in. And this one's not a COVID list guy. Chris Middleton, his numbers are down for the year, just across the board. In points leagues, 33.1 average, which is low for him. That's underperforming.
Right.
He can usually be around 40. So I would definitely try and get him if at all possible, because as recent as a month ago, he was kind of on a hot streak and he was like at 37 average or 38. So he could definitely get back there.
Oh, absolutely.
Julius Randle, he's struggling right now. 30.3 average in the last 7 days, and then he just went on the COVID list. So whoever owns him could be frustrated and maybe more willing now that he just entered the COVID list than when he comes back from it.
Yeah.
And if you need yourself a power forward who puts up big numbers and could finish at number 2 power forward next to Giannis, I'd try to get him if you can, because he's just kind of had a down year compared to last year so far.
Yeah, I would definitely. I think I would trade for Julius Randle for sure. I like that one a lot.
For sure, yeah. Jonas Valanciunas, 29 average in the last 7. He's coming back from the COVID list, so he's getting a little less minutes. He must have actually had it, and yeah, he's just kind of getting his feet back under him, so maybe you could buy low right now while he's not putting up big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But on the year, he's had a really good year, so that's why if you need a center, I'd try to get him, and he's not as big of a name. Gordon Hayward, since all the players got healthy on the Hornets, he's had a 28.7 average in the last 7, so his numbers have really come down. And I think he'll still even out. He'll still plateau above 30. So I think he's a buy low right now. Just he had a bad week for sure.
Okay.
The Rockets fell apart last night. Something happened with Kevin Porter Jr. Argued with the fill-in coach because the main coach had COVID, and then he left the game, and then Christian Wood wouldn't sub in the second half. So something went down. Christian Wood could get penalized within his own team, and he only played 8 minutes. So just with any drama like this, you could see if you could capitalize.
Yeah.
And you could get a good fantasy player, because I think they're still going to play him. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to have a worse repercussions for his actions.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing's been announced yet. So try and get Christian Wood if you can. He's got a 35 average on the year in points leagues.
Okay.
Erin Fox, until tonight, just today, a couple hours ago, he had a really good game, but this past week he's actually had a really bad week with a 24.9 average, and that's not calculated in today's game. But everybody knows he's a point guard who could average 35 to 40 in fantasy leagues because of his explosiveness and him being the only good player on the team. So if you really need a point guard, this is the guy to go for. Try and trade one of these COVID guys who are going off right now. Do a 2-for-1, include one of the COVID guys and a bigger name. Try and get De'Aaron Fox. Rashawn Holmes on the same team. He's really struggling of late. He was a buy low for me basically the past 3 weeks. 20.5 average in the last 7, and he just entered COVID protocol. So this is the cheapest you could probably ever get him. And he's normally around a 30 average, or if not around 31, 32. So he's a huge buy low right now. And you know, he's a smaller name than Jonas Valanciunas or Randle or Christian Wood. So see if you can get him.
Okay.
Spencer Dinwiddie. We've been talking about him for a while, but he's actually proven that he still has it. He had 2 really big games before entering COVID protocols in the past couple days. So this might be your last chance to go and get him, because I think he's finally finding his rhythm after off-season surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a above 50 point fantasy game and then a 44 fantasy point game before going on the COVID list. So he's kind of finding him in. And then this guy isn't as much of a buy low, but he still is, because Darius Garland, he will be the only guard left in Cleveland, and so therefore he's going to get inflated stats because he's the only guy who can pass these big men and distribute the ball. He's going to have to play heavy minutes. They lost 2 guards now to season-ending injuries, so if you can get him now. He's about a 34 average right now, and I bet he could finish at 40 just because of the usage.
Okay.
So he's kind of a must trade for within reason. But yeah, any more buy lows you can think of, Zach?
No, I think that kind of is a good list.
Okay. You loved it. Sell highs, man. I put any COVID players filling in major roles right now, and that's not saying you can use some of these guys to get 1-for-1, because nobody in your league is dumb. It's just that these guys are going off right now. Maybe you can include them in a deal, throw them in to make a trade a 2-for-1. Sweeten the pot. with these names. So Hamadou Diallo, he's one of our surprises of the week. I put Josh Giddey because he just got back from COVID protocols. He's above a 30 average. He just had a huge triple-double with 65 fantasy points, and that's because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just entered COVID protocols today. So Josh Giddey was the only guy distributing, and he went off. And that's what his week is basically going to look like until Shai is back. So try and capitalize on that and trade for like a higher profile player because his stats are going to be inflated.
Okay.
Saddiq Bey is the same thing. He was one of our must grabs basically a couple weeks ago, but now if you have him, sell high because everyone knows in the beginning of the year, the first 2 months, he really struggled. And if he ever goes back to that, I mean, he's going to become a droppable player. And I think he could. I mean, Cade's going to come back. He did just hit a game winner, so his confidence is up. But if he's a streaky player like this, where he's had the past couple years where he's gone hot for a month and then he's gone cold. So there's some red flags, and I'd see if you can get anything for him so you don't have to deal with that.
Okay.
Herbert Jones on New Orleans. This is kind of a deep league move, but he's hot right now because there's so many guys out on New Orleans. The main one being Brandon Ingram with that sore Achilles. And that's giving Herbert Jones like 35 minutes a night. And he's put up 2 big fantasy games in a row above 40 in points leagues. So he's like an easy grab, and he's only like 5% owned. But yeah, see if you could throw him in. Mason Plumlee, he's the only big man right now, but PJ Washington's about to come back. But Plumlee's been putting up big numbers, and everybody knows his history. You know he can't maintain this like 37 average, so I would try to sell high. Jalen Brunson as well. Doncic is back now, so Jalen Brunson's stats were inflated the past week or two, so I'd try to include him in any deal I could, so I don't have to watch his stats go down and down. I don't know if I would for sure sell high in this, because this could be an actual great grab, which we'll go over more later, but Omer, you're at 7, or you're at 7.
I prefer Omer, you're at 8, but that's just...
Oh my god, yeah, his cousin. Yeah, dude, he's going off 36.5 average in the last 7, and that's not including his game today where I think it was above 40. But
damn,
he's the only center available for Miami.
Wow.
He's like their third string, but Bam Adebayo went down, about a month ago, or yeah, almost a month ago with his injury, and there's no timetable really. And then Dedmon was the backup, and he's now out 2 weeks, which could be more. So this guy's been filling in, and he's going off. Like, this could be a breakout find again for Miami. They're really good at finding players like this. But
yeah, I'd say.
Anyway, you could include him in a deal that would really sweeten the pot.
Okay.
Chris Boucher in Toronto. He was basically everybody was dropping him at the beginning of the year because he couldn't produce what he did last year. But with a bunch of players entering the COVID protocols, he started finding his rhythm and has had a really good couple weeks. So, yeah, I would try to throw him in any deal I could before he kind of falls off a cliff again. And then Gary Harris, Orlando, his stats are super inflated with a bunch of players in Orlando that were in the COVID protocols, but they're all about to come back. So try to get rid of him if you can, because if you can't get anything in a trade now, he's just going to become a drop.
Yeah.
And those are the COVID list players that are with inflated stats that are filling in. But here's some more that are sell highs. Wendell Carter Jr., he's been one of the only big men for Orlando. Mo Bamba just came back, but he only played 18 minutes. But 33.3 average in the last 7, and he's looked really, really good. I don't think it's sustainable. So I would see if I could trade up.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
For a trade, for sure.
Include him in a deal for Valanciunas if you can.
Okay.
Daniel Gafford, 31.2 average in the last 7. He's the only center on the court, filling in because Thomas Bryant's not back yet from his offseason surgery, and then Montrezl Harrell is on the COVID list. So his stats are a bit inflated, and I'm also worried because he's only been splitting minutes with Montrezl Harrell, but now with Thomas Bryant coming back, three centers, it's just going to be, they're all going to be taken away from each other possibly. And he's someone I want to get rid of at this point. And he's had really good 3 games this week. So definitely try and sell high at this point because he could end up being a drop in like a month or 2 weeks. So,
damn.
And he's only a deep league move anyway. So I'm almost talking like 12-team league, you probably own him and you could try to trade him. 10-team league, he's probably not even owned, but this is a guy you could stream.
Okay.
Also including the package, Kevin Love, Renaissance 2 weeks, dude. If you haven't if you haven't seen his stats, Zach, go look right now because it's actually
I know they're pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. 41.5 average in the last 7. Try to get anything you can. Otherwise, you just ride the wave, and then he'll be a drop because he's going to fall off eventually. With a lot of players coming back, Cleveland was very much hit by the COVID, and he's filled in valiantly. And now he's kind of keeping it up, but there's no way it's sustainable. We know his injury history. We know he's old now. Try and get anything, man. Throw him in a deal.
Yep.
Now here's a bigger name, Clint Capela. He's getting extra big man stats with 35.9 average in the last 7. 45.9 is not sustainable for him. He's usually, when he was on Houston, he averaged around 40. He came to Atlanta and he was still near 40, but he's splitting a lot of, he's splitting those rebounds with John Collins and the easy putbacks he's splitting with John Collins. So
right.
When they're both on the court, they're both around like a 35. So I would kind of try and sell high on Clint, see if you can get a guy like Jared Allen. You know what I mean? Both starting centers, but I'd rather have Jared Allen.
Okay.
Sadiq Bey, I just talked about him, so I guess I have him on here twice. But yeah, he's on a hot streak. I'm worried about his hot and cold months that he's showed the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And he is more owned now, so try and include him in a trade. He looks good, and it looks good that he's on a team where he gets all those minutes, that's appetizing to other teams.
Right.
Kyle Kuzma, 39.3 average in the last 7. He's just going off. He's like the second scoring option right now next to Bradley Beal. I would try and trade him while he's hot, while he's shooting like this.
Yeah, he is going off, and it's crazy. He's historically just such a hot and cold player season-wise, too.
Yeah.
He'll have a amazing season, then he'll then he'll be not great. Then he'll have another amazing season. You just don't know what to expect from him ever.
Oh my gosh, starts meowing up a storm. Mason Plumlee, just talked about him already, but he's the only center right now getting all those boards, but PJ Washington will be back soon as well. And it's not sustainable based on his history, so see if you can get anything, include him in a package deal. And then the biggest thing I wanted to go over, he's a sell high because Jason Tatum is out. Jalen Brown, 39.8 average in the last 7. I think he just had a 70-point fantasy game today.
Wow.
Just because of the increased usage with Tatum out, I would see if you can get a more high-profile player out of this. Use him to try to get Julius Randle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Both big names, both big starters, but you'd rather have Randle. Because when Tatum's back, Jalen Brown's he's really good. I mean, if you don't just sell him to sell him, but he is the number 2 option there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he's inflated. See if you can get anything. And that kind of ends my scoops unless you have any, Zach.
Yeah, did we talk about Marcus Morris?
Yeah.
We did?
On the Clippers? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Wait. I'm about to talk about him. Oh, wait, no, we did.
We did.
Oh,
okay.
no, I skipped him.
I thought we skipped over him.
I skipped him. Marcus Morris Sr., sorry, guys. 37.9 average in the last 7. Everybody knows that Paul George is out for the next month to 6 weeks, but that only is they're going to check him in 4 to 6 weeks and then decide if they're doing surgery or not. So Marcus Morris Sr., along with the rest of the Clippers team, are covering for him, and they're all going to get extra usage and stats, but so far he's the biggest beneficiary. So I'd still include him in a deal because we know both Morris brothers can be hot and cold like this. They're
Yeah.
basically just really good. They're really good bench players for any team, and they can go on these hot streaks to help a team out, but they're not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So try and trade him if you can. Otherwise, he's also a scoop, which we're going to run into here. He's only 20.8% owned, so in a 10-team league, he's probably available. And he's a stream right now. Basically, most of my scoops here are guys filling in for that COVID list, and you could see if they end up being long term. Just ride the wave, but we'll find out. So,
Right.
yeah, a lot of new guys this week, especially if you didn't listen to our Thursday late week episode. Here you go. Hamadou Diallo. We just talked about him as a surprise and a sell high, but he's only 12.4% owned. Must grab player until he slows down or Cade Cunningham comes back, and yeah, that could be the reason he slows down, but I don't really know because he's a shooting guard. So
Yeah, and he's been carrying me this week. I mean, my gosh, in my 12-team league that I'm in, I am so riddled with injury.
really,
He's been I'm still going to lose, but I was down like by 300 points at one time, and then he started going off at the end of the week, and I'm actually back in it, but I'm still going to lose. But it was a lot more close. I almost came back.
Yeah, you said a lot of guys hurt, right? Or with COVID.
Yep.
Another grab. This is a guy I grabbed in our deep league, like we talked about, but he's only 6% owned. Herbert Jones, 39.4 average in the last 7. I think he's also a must grab until Ingram is back with that sore Achilles. Mason Plumlee, we just talked about, 37.9 average in the last 7. He's only 24.1% owned. Also, like a must stream player. Basically, any of these guys, like if you only have one stream spot, just try to get one of these guys. This would be my top grab, though, and I already hinted at this. Omer Yurtseven.
Yeah.
36.5 average in the last 7 games, but he's only 8.7% owned. And he just had a big game today, so that's not even including that. That's going to increase his average. He looks like a true stud out there. He's getting big double-doubles. Must-grab player, especially with them. It's not even a COVID situation. It's they don't have a center. All their stars are back, and he's still doing this. Like, Jimmy Butler's back, and so is Kyle Lowry. So you got to grab this guy. Marcus Morris Sr. while he's hot, like we said. Facundo Campazzo, 34.9 average in the last 7. He's only 4.7% owned. He's the only point guard really available for Denver right now. So he's putting up good numbers. I would just ride that until Monty Morris is back or Jamal Murray is back. There was just a video today that came out of Jamal Murray dunking. So he could be a month away. Probably 2, but we'll see. Larry Nash Jr., 30.9 average in the last 7. He's only 7.7% owned. When he gets heavy minutes, we know he can keep putting up these numbers because he gets well-rounded numbers. He doesn't just do 1 or 2 things. He's
a good defender.
He gets a decent amount of assists. He gets steals. Yeah, he gets blocks. He's just like a lanky, what do you call it? High-energy player. So he gets those extra numbers. Steven Adams is hot lately, and I would grab him for just if you're looking for double-doubles and 31.8 average in the last 7. We just talked about how that team is just really grooving and playing good basketball, and when a team's doing that, all the starters look good. So, and he's only 42.2% owned, so starting center for the Grizzlies. Go grab him. Kobe White, 30.1 average in the last 7, 14.3% owned. Yeah, not much else to say. He's filling in right now. I mean, he's still a backup, but Lonzo's out. Good. Alex Caruso's out, so Kobe White's looking real good the past week. He's just a stream option right now.
Yeah, but he is looking good out there. I saw the game a couple days ago, and he's actually making good point guard decisions, which I never really saw him do last season. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I think his assists look good.
It's benefiting him probably. He's obviously learning something from Lonzo Ball, I feel. So.
Yeah. Oh, and Caruso practicing with them.
Yeah.
The whole offseason and everything. Pretty good.
Developing nicely.
Yeah, he might be a trade piece, though.
You think he will be, and if he keeps playing like this...
if a team actually needs him, that's a must. Then he's a must grab.
Right.
because he'll get big numbers if he could start somewhere. Terrence Ross, he was a grab 2 weeks ago. Then he entered the COVID protocols, but he was heating up. Big game tonight. He just came back tonight. 47 fantasy points.
Damn.
So we know
Grandpa
Terrence Ross.
Rossi.
He's just like a hot and cold player like this, and right now he's hot. So grab him. Ride him while he's hot.
Do it.
Cam Reddish, 29 average in the last 7. Atlanta was another team hit hard by COVID, and he did sustain an ankle injury, but it's probable for Monday, so he's still a great grab, because since all those other players have been entering COVID protocols, he's averaged 18 points and like 4 rebounds, so I double check that, but he's looked pretty dang good filling in. And then a couple of droppable players that people are still holding on to, Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Mitchell Robinson.
Who the hell's holding on to Nickeil Alexander-Walker still?
Well, 70% of leagues, so he's a drop at this point, though. With all these guys going off right now and, being available, and they could be like, these guys they haven't proved anything. They're very up and down, both of these players, so I would go ahead and drop them and try to grab some of these scoops. And Zach, do you have any concerns for the week?
Yeah, we were talking about Hamadou Diallo. I'm just wondering, when guys start coming back and, it's looking like he might go back down the depth chart, but I don't know. Do you think there's a scenario where he plays himself into more playing time even when guys start coming back?
If he can keep shooting like this, yeah, but the past 3 games he's gotten 28 points, 31, 34 points. He's also gotten heavy rebounds. The last game he got 50 minutes. I mean...
Yeah, that's crazy. Was he on the whole game? Like, that's crazy.
If he keeps 30 minutes a night, yeah, he could still be a play the rest of the year, playing next to Cade Cunningham, but I assume he's more in the ball now, and he's also got heavy steals, though. I think he is playing himself into more playing time. It just depends on... I don't know much about that coach and how they run things there, so I think you hold on to him, though. Like, if Cade comes back, you still hold and see how it goes. See how it plays out. But I think he is, because look at those steal numbers. I mean, he's all over the court.
Right.
And, like, Sadiq Bey is there. Like, they still do have some players on the court. The only one who's going to take away from him is Cade. And why can't 2 guards play together? I don't know.
Right. I mean, a lot of teams have multiple guards, so play well together. So I don't know. I think it could happen.
Yeah, I think so too. He's really proven himself.
Yeah, and you know what they say. He's Hamadou, not Hamadont. So.
I don't know if I've heard that or if they ever said it, but yeah.
All right, we'll move on after that terrible joke that I just made.
You got any more concerns?
Is Aaron Wiggins worth a pickup in a deep league?
No.
You don't think so?
Maybe like a 16-team league, but Josh Giddey just came back. His numbers are up. I don't know. He had like a couple good games, and then he had like 2 bad games the past 2. So, and he played 37 minutes today, and only got 10 points and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, so
I think it was just like a minor hot streak, and it's already done.
Gotcha.
Only deep league, like stream him for a day, but I wouldn't trust him. I'd rather grab some other players.
Gotcha. And then, what's the deal with Zion Williamson? Have you heard anything? Like, what's going on in the grapevine?
I just heard he had that setback again. I thought he was still trying to play this season. There's nothing that said he isn't. Did you hear something or read something?
No. I just was wondering if there was any new news floating around. Just hope that he can make it on my roster one of these days.
They said that he needed an injection on December 16th, but that was a while ago. Into the fracture of the bone. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I assume at this point, Well, it's
He's
already
gonna be back.
January. It's the new year, which is crazy, but I assume end of January now. Shoot.
Yeah, it'll be the end of January, early February.
Yeah, that sucks. But at this point, if you have him in fantasy, you're just holding, and you're hoping to make playoffs, and he would be a huge addition in the playoffs, fantasy playoffs. So
Yeah.
you can't drop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that kind of answers my questions. I'm definitely going to be dropping Aaron Wiggins after this.
Yeah, grab Terrence Ross in that league. He's available right now.
Oh, dang. Okay. I'm definitely going to do that.
I think they play tomorrow too. So.
Oh, okay.
They play the Bulls.
All right.
Yeah, he might be one of the only guys that we talked about that's available in our competitive ass league. But
yeah, that league is pretty crazy.
But yeah, anyway, guys, real quick, I'll go over good and bad schedules. And yeah, 2-game weeks. No teams with 2-game weeks, dude. Wow.
Yeah. No teams with 2-game weeks. Yeah, I was surprised. It's kind of a heavy week.
Okay, heavy week coming up. Then we're making up for Christmas week.
Yeah.
And games have been delayed, so this could be some of those games.
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons.
Memphis Grizzlies have 5 games, so if you can stream any of their guards like Tyus Jones, or you can grab, who did we just talk about? Steven Adams. Grab Steven Adams right now.
Yep.
If you want 5 games of possible double-doubles each game, wow. That's a must grab. It's not like he's the best upside grab, but it's like you'll win your week grab.
Right.
Tuesday, Thursday teams. Tuesday, not as light as normal. Cleveland, Indiana, Lakers, Memphis, New Orleans, New York, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, Toronto. Okay, wow. So yeah, it's very up this week.
5 games on Tuesday, so 10 teams.
Okay.
Then Thursday.
Did you do the Tuesday Thursday combo click to see
Tuesday Thursday combo? There was 4 teams.
Okay. And then, yeah, Thursday's very light. Boston, Detroit, Golden State, Clippers, Memphis, New Orleans, New York, Phoenix.
Yeah, so for the Tuesday Thursday combo, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, they have a 5-game week. So, and not that this matters so much for basketball, but they got 2 back-to-backs, which is kind of nice for planning streaming, maybe. And then the Pelicans play on Tuesday, Thursday, Knicks play on Tuesday, Thursday, and the Phoenix Suns play Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So if you want to plan it out to pick up a guy on Tuesday and Thursday, that'll get you 2 starts.
Yeah,
you can look at one of those 4. And
all right, well, there you have it.
The best team for streaming this week is the Grizzlies with the 5 games, which Jake mentioned. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Is this curtains?
Yeah, it's curtains. We went over a lot of great grabs and a lot of good trades. This is a kind of full episode, but I think it really helped whoever's listening. So
yeah, I mean, it helped me.
Yeah,
it helped me with my team.
Yeah, you just grabbed Terrence Ross.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I listened to this great podcast. It gives great information. So.
Oh my god. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone who listened, and hope you win your week.
Yeah. Thanks everybody.
See ya.